Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Todd Stanley, and I am the man who takes people out into the field and has them either live interact with or eyewitness Sasquatch. I've got incredible, amazing news today. I'm very excited to unleash this whole new set of stuff that I'm giving away. You've been talking about the documentary. You want the documentary? You got it. I'm going to give the documentary to 1,000 people in June of this year. So in 6 months, not only will you get Discovering Bigfoot Part 2, but give me 7 months after that, I'm going to do backcountry expeditions into the most remote regions I haven't been to in almost a decade. Places so remote I couldn't take Survivor Man to. I'm going to go back there. I'm going to get more footage of Sasquatch. I'm going to amp up this discovery process to the next level. And it comes with 1,000 followers on Patreon. I have gotten over 20 million views across social media last year. I've got over 250,000 followers. I'm selling off only 1,000 online subscriptions on Patreon, plus my expeditioners that are only in the number of about 100. In the meantime, you'll be getting, just go to discoveringbigfoot@gmail.com. You'll get this incredible photograph for your phone of Jane. Plus, every month, I'm going to be giving away photographs that have never been seen before. These beautiful 16:9s of Kubota, Jake, Jane. I'm going to have tons and tons of stuff. Videos I'm going to be giving away. Information, and I'm talking Sasquatch videos that I've never released. I'm putting it all on the line. I'm doing 3 expeditions into the backcountry where where all the videos, video 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 have all been filmed. You'll see the new California footage in the documentary in June. So much more. So hurry up, get involved, get your free photograph by just sending us to an email at discoveringbigfoot@gmail.com. I'm on Patreon, Discovering Bigfoot on Patreon, and my website is discoveringbigfoot.org. So much going on here. 2025, the year of the 5, is going to be so incredibly exciting. I've got so much stuff planned. So in the meantime, what we're doing right now, the first thing I'm releasing is this incredible, amazing stuff. I'm going to show you a video about some stuff about Jane, the Sasquatch we have tremendous success with on a yearly basis, going back in the backcountry to see her on the other side of the mountains. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what's happened with her, and I'm going to be releasing for all the Patreon followers that sign up in the next 30 days. They're going to get 5 photographs, incredible in definition like no one's ever seen before. Releasing them. Even have a deal with Staples where they have a special printer. They're going to be printing it off in the highest quality. So I've done a ton of research on this. It's Jane this month, Jake next month, Kubota, Red, and then after that, after all the videos, after all the photographs, after all the stuff I'll be giving away over the next 6 months, you're going to see Discovering Bigfoot Part 2. You're going to get access to that for June and July of this year. And then all the stuff that's going to happen over the expeditions. I've got brand new equipment, brand new ways to get footage, things that have never been done, that I've never done before. I've never repeatedly gone back in these areas. Even have an expedition already planned with some of the toughest SOBs on 2 legs coming into those backcountry wilderness with me. So we're going to have an excellent year in 2025. I'm going to be taking this to the next level through and through. 20 million views last year. Let's go for 50 million views this year. And again, Joe Rogan, Mr. Beast, Tyler Oliveira, Russell Brand. Let's take out some big celebrities way into the backcountry where I've never gone before, getting the most incredible success in the hottest spot for Bigfoot research on planet Earth, Radium, British Columbia. Don't take my word for it. Let's find out what happens in 2025. Get excited because it's all happening, all coming. So stay tuned, more to come. I'm really excited to bring some clarity to this incredible piece of footage. Probably the second most famous female Sasquatch of all time ever filmed. Second, of course, to the incredible, amazing Patterson footage. The details behind what transpired and all the evidence that happened that led up to this incredible video. And even after, this video is now over 12 years old, of these videos and photographs, which are multiple, of this Sasquatch I call Jane are well over a decade old. We have new interactions with her. All this incredible evidence is precipitated, but so much backstory transpired behind this, and there's so much garbage and armchair quarterbacks chatting when they don't have a bloody clue about what the hell they're talking about. I'm going to try to bring some clarity to the enormous amount of work and time and effort and the struggle and literally life and death struggle that went into acquiring this incredible footage that I'm so proud of. So I'll start out with the incredible story of Jane with the very first video after I came back, literally came back, suffering from exposure, nearly died several times on the expedition with all the immense danger and exposure and starvation and freezing and hypothermia and everything that I'd gone through to acquire this incredible piece of footage, again, that I'm so proud of. A little bit of backstory to help you understand why it's very frustrating when people say these preposterous things when they just have absolutely no idea. So here's the very first video that I released after I came back and recovered from all the stuff that I'd gone through. I put this video up online, so let you have a look at that, and then we'll go from there.
On Tuesday, October 14th, Todd Standing embarked on a 5-day expedition into a region of the Rocky Mountains bordering Kootenay and Banff National Parks. On this expedition, he captured multiple full-frontal facial views of Bigfoot for the first time. As he returned from his expedition through some of the most dangerous backcountry in the world, he experienced several highly unusual circumstances that delayed him by several days. Out of concern over his whereabouts, the RCMP and Sylvanic team agreed to launch search and rescue. Todd returned safely on his own 3 days overdue. Although the expedition entailed significant hardships that were reported to the RCMP, including a dangerous grizzly bear confrontation, Todd and his team consider this expedition their most significant ever.
Incredibly significant. I was really proud of the photographs and videos that came out. At the time, I just finished becoming worldwide headlines with species protection, recognition, and all that. The work that I was doing with the government to have them acknowledge Sasquatch that I fought really hard for. But this, basically, I just put this footage out there raw, and people were very non-accepting of it. So, and you'll get it. I'll explain a lot about what was going on, but you heard in that video that there were some significant incidences. I was very kind of quiet, and I didn't want to push people too much because of the extreme things that had happened on me on that expedition, and I didn't want to lose the science by getting all crazy and talking about how these Sasquatch were like, they basically you know, were abusive to me and chased me down and all the stuff that had transpired. And I really want to figure out the reasons behind all this and all these incredible interactions. These aren't like gorillas, and no disrespect to gorillas and chimpanzees. These are highly intelligent hominids, and they came after me in very specific ways to teach me very specific lessons. So let's get into just a short little sequence here that I'll tap onto about how they, on the very last, or what I thought was supposed to be the last night before I got picked up, after this, you know, was out there for like 5 days on this expedition, the Sasquatch came and harassed me, and I got this footage. It was on Survivor, man. I'll just play a little short sequence of it, and then we'll continue from there.
After sleeping less than 30 minutes, I was awakened by rocks that were thrown at me and growling sounds from multiple directions. After 2 nights of this, I'd had enough, so you'll see me here crack open one of my big flares.
Damn it. God damn it. Yeah! Yeah!
These growling sounds you hear are from 6 to 10 yards away, again in multiple directions. Now you can hear rocks thrown at me and various animals closing in on me from multiple positions.
Bad night, to say the least, but tremendous lessons that I learned from that. But we're not going to get into that or beyond that. Let's get into what happened before that. So that was the end of the Video 4 expedition. So I have this documentary that I did probably right after when I got back from doing this expedition. So I'll play this first sequence of that. and then we're going to do an interview that Kyle did with me on the Discovering Bigfoot podcast, where I really get some exceptional clarity and get down to the grassroots of all the things that were going on and what had happened in the buildup that's so important that led to this tremendous success. And we'll get into that footage and so much more. So let's keep moving forward.
Hello, my name is Todd Stanley, and you are watching what my team and I are calling Expedition 4. As I announced last year on the website, this new Sylvanic area is where we are attempting to conduct a study of the species commonly referred to as Bigfoot. My team and I have been on over 30 expeditions into this region, and 2 by me have yielded significant close proximity contact with these animals. Although the first did not produce any photo or video evidence, it very nearly cost me my life. In fact, I'd have to say it was extremely fortunate, to say the least, that I even survived at all. We'll release the details of that expedition later this year. For this October 2010 expedition, although there certainly were significant dangers, including the grizzly bear confrontation, I suffered only minor injuries. So before I get into detail of the expedition itself, I'd like to thank Radium Police as well as Kimberly and Invermere Search and Rescue. This region of the Rocky Mountains is certainly some of the most dangerous backcountry in the continent. Very few people ever use these trails, and a high percentage that do disappear or are killed. This area between Kootenay and Banff National Parks is where wildlife officers relocate bears and mountain lions that have become dangerous to people. And because of the locations and natures of my expeditions, my team and I have always had an understanding to never call search and rescue. I rarely stay on the trail, and more often than not, I'm in areas that are inaccessible to most people. This time, however, the very unusual circumstances surrounding my disappearance led my team to assume the worst. So police were contacted, and a search and rescue mission was implemented.
People are always interested, and I'm okay with that, and getting right to the meat of the story, talking about the footage and what happened in those moments. But what people don't know is the backstory and the work that went into it. I'd done, at the point that I'd gotten to with this success, I'd done over 8 expeditions in this area. Each expedition was between 4 and 7 days long. Most of the time I failed. Most of the time I had very little learning, very little interactions with the Sasquatch. People just have no idea at the lengths that I'd gone through. So here's a 2022 interview where Kyle from the Discovering Bigfoot podcast, and you can watch this full interview in entirety on my YouTube channel, really got down to ask some really good questions and did his research and push me to talk about things and give clarity to the layers. Like I could literally write up until I literally sat down with a novelist, and all my experience and everything that transpired from when I started this discovery way back with video 1 to video 2 to video 3 to even just to video 4, this would have been a 300-page novel with the stuff that had gone on, the time that I'd put into this, the money and work that had gone into this. It was so significant. So you'll get a little tiny piece of that in this interview that's upcoming. So stay tuned, pay attention. This will clear up a lot of things. I'll put some new footage in here. So let's let Kyle take over.
I want to talk about video 4, which is Jane. A lot of people have, their opinions about that footage. So I want to kind of bring to light, like, if you remember what year it was, what kind of the plan was, maybe what happened that year leading up to this expedition to go and get this footage.
Yeah, it was 2009. Boy, those were hard years. What was happening? So I'd lost my research area in Montana, which is the Sylvanic region. There were actual deaths. Like, in fact, I believe Sasquatch killed people in the Montana area. I was doing research. So there were rumors around that since I was involved, and I had nothing to do with any of that stuff, nothing whatsoever. I didn't know the people that got involved. I didn't know any of the people that were killed. I just gave up on that stuff. So I needed a new spot. We picked this radium spot, and my colleague who was also working with me, who is from Great Falls, Montana, he's a biologist there, Michael. He helped me pick this spot that we were at, and we started to get really good success in 2008. There were clearly Sasquatch there. There were an amazing group of Sasquatch, and no one was ever going to mess with us. We also wanted a research area that was ours, that I didn't have to answer to anybody for, that nobody else was doing the work. And there was not. This was the ultimate, amazing, A+ spectacular spot. Nobody was going in these regions. In fact, quite the opposite. This area is famous for where wildlife officers relocate bad animals. So bears and mountain lions that become dangerous for people, they go throw them in this corridor where I was doing my research. So I ended up having
Sounds like
some
a great
trouble with
idea.
that. Yeah, because bears that see humans as a source of food would be dropped in that area, and I'd have to deal with that, which was problematic often.
I can imagine.
When I went missing, that's what the RCMP told me. The reason you're having so much trouble with bears and mountain lions is because we put bad animals in that area because nobody goes there. You crazy maniac! What are you doing back in that corridor? But anyways, it was, and there was things that were different about this troop of Sasquatch that were very exciting because they weren't really backing away. They wouldn't move off. They would just kind of stand their ground. So I was really, really excited to do this work. And what happened, what I since I didn't have much technology, gosh, I didn't even carry a gun at the time. I had like bear spray and a bear banger and a knife. It was pathetic how poorly equipped I was. We had it broken down to where their home area was, and I needed some bad weather to come in. The worst, horrible storm you ever saw in your whole life, where you can't see your hand in front of your face, because that's cover. And because I knew I could follow a creek in, and then I could follow a special tree line and a cave. Like I could literally find my way around blind with a blindfold on, with no ability to see, which is what I did. And so it was around, and the best time to get a storm too that's going to melt off and dissipate is in the fall, because in Canada we get these snowstorms that come in early, and the snow hits and doesn't really accumulate, or if it does accumulate, it melts. And if you notice in the Jane footage, there's snow everywhere. It's melting, literally melting. So I went into that snowstorm for cover. The next day it was beautiful, and well, after the storm was over, it wasn't the next day. It was like 3 days after a snowstorm, or 3 days of a snowstorm. It was horrible. I got into my position, and then my plan after that just fell into place. Where the what's happening is the cave I was talking about, I actually had an audio recorder of me talking. So I left a trackway of me walking into this cave, and then I used a line to sneak my way out where you couldn't see my tracks. And so when the Sasquatch came down the mountain, they could hear me talking in the cave. I wasn't there, and they saw my tracks go in and not come out. So I believe the males went down the hill waiting for me or messing with me in that cave, while I was trying to approach the rest of the troop, the females and the young. What I didn't realize is the females create another upper perimeter, and that's what I believe Jane was. She was the upper perimeter I was trying to break past to get back into where the main home is. Like, I'm talking where they sleep, like the spot where there's bones and their stuff is there, whatever that might be. So the main sleeping holy grail area is what I was trying to get to. Of course, and I didn't get there because Jane stopped me. I was using what I called a ghillie cloak. It was basically a lead-lined ghillie kind of, not a suit, but like a ghillie. It's like a big piece of earth is what it looked like, and I would drag that up the hill and stay under it, completely lead-lined, so you couldn't feel my signature, no heat signature, no telepathic signature. It's all blocked off. So I got to the point where I was at, got my footage of Jane, which is multiple shots. And now this is something that's really important too, though, is I had two cameras with me. The reason I had two cameras is at the time, the digital camera that shot in on DV tape was horrible at night. I had so much night stuff coming around me. So a friend of mine lent me his camera, said this is one of the best night vision cameras around. And I can't remember, it was like a Samsung or something. But anyways, its low light capabilities were really crappy. But I still had it, and I was going to test it just in case something happened. So what happened is, when I'm filming Jane in video, and the video is where I'm an expert. I was using my neutral density filters. The footage is amazing. It looks proper and clear. It was awesome. The trees had the snow melting, and it was splattering, would splatter on my camera. As soon as my camera stopped working, I would switch over to the other camera. And it was actually, I think it was just a photographic camera. I didn't shoot any video with it. So I just pointed at her and took pictures until, until it got splattered on. Then I would clean both lenses and put them both back up, try to refine Jane again and get more footage. The problem is that the photographs that I have that I took with that camera is set for low light, right? I didn't change the settings. You don't sit there and go, oh, there's a Sasquatch there. I better check the settings on my phone. You pull the goddamn camera out and you go snap, 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 snap. If you take everything you can get, right? So those photographs look really bad. Like she looks orangey. The color and the green in the trees looks bad because it's literally set for low light and it's shooting in not only in direct sunlight, but there's snow on the ground. So the sun is bleaching off the snow, create like it's burning your eyes. It's so bright. So the photographs are poor, but at the time I didn't really give a shit. And I made those public. I didn't care because I know that's Sasquatch. And I knew this at the time too. I also believed the discovery was only years away. I knew I was going to make this discovery happen right away because I was having so much incredible success. Of course, I was wrong because that was literally filmed in 2009, well over, almost 15 years ago now. That footage was filmed. And, the discovery is not moving nearly as quickly as I'd hoped, but that footage that I got that day was absolutely astonishing. I want to make a little. I keep saying I'm going to do this, and I haven't because I filmed it a couple times. Two of the most important things that happened. So, as I was filming Jane for the last time, I was trying to look for Jane. She was gone. So I'm looking around to film for her. What actually happened was a Sasquatch came up to me as I was in that ghillie cloak, and he reached under the cloak. I could feel his hand, and he grabbed my ankle, and he pulled me out. And what was so cool was a Sasquatch drags me along the ground for like 5 meters. And I'm freaking out, right? So as he lets me go, and I spin around as fast as I can. I look, and all I saw was like a tree shaking where the Sasquatch had walked off. I thought, oh my God, he must have just ran out of there just before he got a hold of me and blah, blah, blah. But then a few years later, I saw a gorilla do that to a guy on a gorilla watching expedition. A gorilla literally grabbed the guy by his ankle, and this is exactly what happened to me, because the Sasquatch didn't run with me. The gorilla just grabbed the guy by his ankle and pulled him at the speed the gorilla was walking. And as soon as he let that guy go, the gorilla just kept walking. And as fast as the guy could turn around, all he saw was a shaking tree, and all the gorilla had to do was just maintain that walking speed. So in my head, it was, man, he just bolted out of there. It's not true. He just simply maintained his speed, because also the tree that was shaking, it wasn't going ba, 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 ba. It was just shaking like somebody walked past it. So you're just in such a panic, and everything's happening so fast that you whip around and you perceive things differently. But it was a really good lesson for me. So I've been pulled out of my ghillie suit. I've got my footage. I'm stoked through the roof, but I'm not done. I'd like to go up there, and first thing I needed to get was I want to see how big Jane is.
We have a little taste of some of the events that transpired to build up to get that footage, which for me is so valuable because so much time and effort and struggle went into that, and it was a tremendous success that went on for years. So we just grew, and the discovery is happening. I'm so excited about it. I know there's I'm going to leave you wanting so much more, but literally I could make a movie about everything. That I could go out there with the film crew and cutaway shots and get out there on the ground and show you all the things that happened step by step. It would turn into a 90-minute feature film documentary that would blow your mind with the layers of, oh my God, you went there, oh my God, this happened, oh my God, all these things. It's just so significant. It's been a hell of a journey down this discovery process, and be very excited because the discovery of Sasquatch is happening. Remember, that was over 12 years ago. We're getting much more success, precipitating much better results to this day, with people seeing Sasquatch, eyewitnessing Sasquatch, and adding to this research layers of immense success with all the new people involved in this cooperation. It's a very exciting time for us. 2023 is going to be such a banner year. So many amazing things have happened. My mind has been absolutely blown with the success that's sincerely right here in front of us. So stay tuned for more. It's a very exciting time.